Here's what you should know about your local housing market in this week's Market Update. Today is the first day of August, and the stats are looking exactly like how I would expect them to look, not only today, but probably through the remainder of the month. And that is, you'll see a trend across the board. Not a lot of houses coming on the market and a lot of houses selling. Keep in mind, August is a very popular month for a lot of the homes that went under contract in the very busy spring market to then be closing, especially this year. I saw a lot of people who were a little bit more mid to late spring choosing a longer closing to wait until August to close. And then I've seen a lot of the people that were the later summer looking for a quicker closing to get their house purchase or sale closed before Labor Day and the start of school. So this week, looking at the stats for Morristown, Chatham, Madison, Harding, Morris Plains, Mendham, Chester, Bernardsville, Basking Ridge, and Randolph, we saw 35 new homes come on the market this past week. That is a 19% decrease over the prior week. We saw the most number of homes come on the market in Basking Ridge with 8. I'd say more than half, probably about 2/3 of these towns had a significant decrease in the number of homes coming on the market. Out of these, we saw 27 single-family houses and 8 condos or townhouses. The average list price of these homes was $1,287,000. That's a 24% increase over last week's average list price. And we saw the town with the highest average list price this past week was Harding at $2,250,000. Total inventory. There are currently 237 homes actively on the market in these towns. That's a 7% decrease over the prior week. I would expect to see total inventory continue to decrease as we go through August. Hopefully we'll see that kick back up in September. But like I said, August, you typically don't see as many homes come on the market, but you do see a fair amount of closings. Homes sold. We saw 49 homes sell this past week. That is a 133% increase over last week. We saw the most number of homes come on the market in Morristown with 12 homes, and then second place with Basking Ridge with 9 homes. Average list price this past week of the homes that were sold was $937,000. The average sale price of these homes that were sold was $979,000. So this past week in these towns, homes sold for an average of 5.9% above the list price. We're still seeing most of these towns with average sale prices significantly above the list price. We saw 2 towns where some homes sold below the list price. Chester, this past week, homes sold for, the homes sold for 11.3% below the list price. That's pretty substantial. And then Mendham, we saw homes sell at 1.6% below the list price. Other than that, homes sold above the list price in the rest of the towns, ranging anywhere from 1% above the list price in Randolph, all the way up to, in Morris Plains, where homes sold at 19.8% above list price. So we're seeing pretty substantial numbers. Chatham, 12.8% above list price. Bernardsville, 12% above list price. Madison, 8.7% above list price. And Morristown, 8.4% above list price. So most of these towns, these home sales we're seeing are still substantially above list price. Average days on market for these homes was 16 days. That's a 36% decrease over the prior week. But now let's look into under contract. These are deals being put together now as opposed to a few months ago that we're seeing with the sales. So under contract, we saw 41 homes go under contract this past week. That's a 5% increase over the prior week. The average list price of these homes was $1,219,000. That's a 5% increase over the prior week. And then the median days on market was 28 days on the market for these homes that went under contract this week. That's a 5% increase over the prior week. So while the sentiment out there seems to be that things are quieting down, seems seems to be, talk of lower buyer demand. However, the stats that we're looking at still continue to show very strong numbers and strong home sales. So let's see if that sentiment is just a lag in the stats catching up, or if that is just something else that is not matching up with reality. So we'll continue to track the market, especially as we go through the typically slower month of August and kick into our fall market in a few weeks. So thanks for checking in with me. I'll catch you guys again next week.